for final year students like you, right? एक तरफ सेमेस्टर के एग्जाम्स एंड दूसरी तरफ प्रिपरेशन में मॉक्स, दैट प्रेशर, दैट सेल्फ डाउट.
But I make sure that tomorrow only, I will in the morning only, I will wake up little early and try to cover that thing that has remained unchecked at the day end. So that was my strategy.
पंजाब के एक स्मॉल टाउन मानसा से XLRI तक का सफर पूरा किया.
Taking a drop, then I just feel the constant pressure that you have to make it at this year. There is no choice and there is no second way out for you.
You struggled the most with the DM at the beginning, and yet you were able to get the best score in the DM section itself, right? Hello everyone, welcome back to the Conversion Diaries, a Rodha Originals podcast, जहाँ we bring you stories of people who not only survived but shined in their cat journey. Today we have someone with us जिन्होंने पंजाब के एक स्मॉल टाउन मानसा से XLRI तक का सफर पूरा किया with incredible consistency and grit. Please welcome Ritish Goyal. Ritish, welcome to the podcast. Yeah, I'm really sure it's going to be really amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It's a great honor to be here and share my story with you.
Yeah, so Ritish, सबसे पहले एक simple सा question. So if you have to describe your cat journey or Z journey or your entire preparation journey in just 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Okay. So first of all, it will be consistency. I think so. I was very consistent all through the period in the last 1 year. Uh, Second would be hard working. I worked really hard for doing this and converting doing well in cat and that, and finally to converting XLRI BM. The third word I will be putting resilience. I was resilient very much and handled every challenge that came in my way and make my path to XLRI.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's really great. And in fact, you know what's also amazing, like for students or for final year students like you, right? एक तरफ सेमेस्टर के एग्जाम्स एंड दूसरी तरफ प्रिपरेशन में मॉक्स, दैट प्रेशर, दैट सेल्फ डाउट, it's a lot to juggle, right? And in fact, you mentioned कि during your journey of preparation, even on your lowest days, right, you made sure to study at least one section that you talked about, right? That's a very rare kind of a discipline that I've seen, of course, in a long time. So just tell me, when you didn't get the expected result, right? When you, वो जो ब्लैकी का ड्रीम होता है वो जब छूट गया, राइट? तो did you think of giving up, यार अब not sure whether you should continue with it or not?
Yeah, I almost felt giving up. Like I was like, "Ab ho gaya hai. Let's try next year." But then, as the revisor and other faculties always said, just try it, give that once. What if you can do it? So I was like, I came the result. I filled the form on the last date almost on the uh, that form on the last day. So then started preparing for it. Um, not I was not very happy to prepare for it, as I will tell. Not very happy with the results and so over the mind. And as in the month of December, and not much time was left, and there was a fifth semester examination also. So I was like, very much not sure that is that I have to do it or not. Uh, but then also that I started, it's okay, let's try. If I made it, then I need not to go through all this pain the next year. So that was the only motivation for me. That's I was preparing for. But after that, also the journey was not very smooth as I started preparing. My DM marks were not at par at all. It was not enough to uh, to clear the minimum uh, percentile uh, that we are required to next year, right? But then also I started focusing on that too much in that DM section and started reading every available material to me. Then also that score didn't improve much, but it still improved. And that was the only motivation that if that was a good day, I would score good marks and ended up clearing the uh, minimum percentile. So at the end of the day, it went good and it went really good. I want to say that. Yeah,
In fact, that comeback story of you from cat to Z was really amazing to know. And in fact, as you mentioned, ki uh, you struggled the most with the DM at the beginning, and yet you were able to get the best score in the DM section itself, right? So, like, how was it? Like, of course, uh, when you get the highest in the one that you expect the least, right, and getting the highest score in that, what was that feeling like? Ki yaar, you were like over worried about something.
yeah. It was. I was very much worried about the DM section. I was like, I was scoring well in the other two sections, really well in the other two sections. And I was like, it's easy for me to clear the cutoff of the overall cutoff, but it is really going to be difficult for me to clear the cutoff of the DM section. Uh, and I'm scoring highest in that game section once I scored the highest. It was a really good feeling. And it's like more of like what worked for me is that on that day, the most of the case studies that came in the DM section was very recently covered topics in the market. So I was very much aware of them, what is going on, and I think so that worked very well for me, and that's why I ended up scoring a really great in the DM section, and it was a really good feel to score highest in that DM section.
And that's great. In fact, I think uh, since DM was your weakest, Baki section we were doing well, right? And like appreciating the DM was the one who took you to a great score. That's very mature of you to actually realize that and understand that. And I think this was just a trailer to the journey that you have had, है ना? तो अब let's
Yeah,
move to a zone जहाँ पर हर टॉपर की रियल गेम चेंज होती है, राइट? देयर स्ट्रेटजीज विद रिस्पेक्ट टू डिफरेंट सेक्शंस, है ना? Let's dig into your preparation playbook, है ना? In fact, one of the very interesting things about your journey, your strategy, which I got to know, was that you used to work through checklists. कि there was no fixed routine, but at the end of every day you used to think कि यार जो टारगेट है डेली टारगेट वो तो मुझे कंप्लीट करके ही चलना है, राइट? बट जस्ट टेल मी कि ड्यूरिंग दैट जब कभी ऐसे थकान होती थी या डिस्ट्रैक्शंस होते थे, तो हाउ डिड यू यूज टू मैनेज ऑल दोस थिंग्स?
so yeah, as you mentioned, I always go through the checklist. There was no any fixed routine of mine to do anything, but I was like, these are the few things that I have to cover at the end of the day, no matter how late it went in the night. But I have to cover that day. I have to score good. So a lot of distractions were there. You have to do an assignment. There's a test. There's another thing in my social life too. Uh, so I enjoyed that. Didn't say that I enjoyed that. Not fully focused on that, but I try to manage all the things well and try to manage my time well. So whenever I felt that I didn't get well in today, but I make sure that tomorrow only, I will in the morning only, I will wake up a little early and try to cover that thing that has remained unchecked at the day end. So that was my strategy, and all, and I think so that I used to make include too much things in my checklist. So I ended up not doing checking everything, but that was more than enough for me at the end of the day. So I'm feeling satisfied that yeah, I have done the good job. So I just close that off. And one more thing that when I'm not in the mood to do anything, I still ended up doing quant because I was really comfortable in quant and I like maths and numbers very much. So that was my strategy that if I'm not covering, just try to maximize overall score and work on my quantitative skills.
That's great. And in fact, I remember one more thing from your story that last के 2-3 months में you didn't even skip a day, right? And that kind of momentum, वो momentum बना के रखना is very insane. So that's really great to hear. And let's move to discussing section wise strategies, right? QA में you mentioned that you were already strong, है ना? तो उसमें what was the focus about? Was it the speed or the accuracy?
Yeah. So mostly I focus on both things as both things were necessary for me. But I more focus on speed as I realized that I ended up doing great in quad and almost my accuracy was good. So I focused more on getting more and more speeds by giving more and more sections. So I used to give a lot of sections of font, and every time I focused more on speed, like build the speed, as I was very clear about the concepts and what to use and where to use what type of formula. So in QA, I relied on my speed only.
Oh, okay, okay. And like what pattern you used to follow in VRC? कि यार पहले पूरा पैसेज पढ़ना या फिर ऑप्शंस पढ़ के बेसिस दैट यू यूज्ड टू रीड द आरसीज.
Uh, you touched upon a bit uncomfortable section for me. So I was struggling in VRC too, but I can break it down that how I approach the VRC section. So first of all, I used to do the para summary. I know I was a bit comfortable in and ended up doing good. So I just started that and take a glimpse of that and got a little reading habit too by just doing the para summary. Then I used to move on to the passage part. First of all, I will read all the passage, the basic reading of it, and try to mark the answers, which I was pretty sure. Then, if I am not comfortable in some of the options and not able to eliminate, then I again go through the parts where from where the question is. Then I used to do three three passages. I never tried to do the four passages. As I was aware that this is not for me, and I'm not comfortable in all the four passages. So I ended up doing three passages. Then I used to have almost like 8 or 9 minutes. Then I try to cover my other VA parts.
That's nice. That's nice. Having that clarity, what you want to do. But like talking about DILR, what type of set was your favorite or go-to set?
I wouldn't say there was any go-to set for me, but I was pretty comfortable in which we used to make a matrix. Like there are the 4 or 5 variables, and there is have to map across the variables. So that was pretty comfortable in that. But in the DALR, the mostly focus was more I bit struggled in that too in that section also. Like my struggle was like that I used to make one or two sets very easily. Like in on the cat day too, like I made two sets really quickly in the almost 16 to 17 minutes. Then I used to struggle in the third or fourth set. I found it take too much time in that section. I don't know what happened to my brain. So, but I try to improve a lot and practice a lot in the DALR. And I guess so. I was pretty comfortable at the end of the day with every type of set, and we used to make every type of set if that clicked in my mind.
Oh, that's nice. So how did you come across Rodha, for instance?
So I came across Rodha through YouTube only, as I was pretty clear that I'm gonna give CAT this year. So I started searching for coaching in the month of Jan, February. So I watched some of the videos, couple of videos on that, and try to know about the different coachings. So I came across Rodha's YouTube channel where Ritish used to teach the QA and LRDI. So I ended up watching some of the videos and really liked them. So I just, without any second thought, I just picked the Rodha that it's I go to. So I joined Rodha.
Any specific class or strategy from let's say Ravi sir or any other faculty or from Team Rodha that was the most impactful for you?
Uh, I think so that the overall experience and the part of Rodha was very impactful for me. And I thought so that there is no perfect strategy or anything. but the overall experience and the shaping that in the last 1 year that all the faculty and revisor has given to me and their guidance has helped a lot. At time to time, you need some motivation and while you are doing that. So I guess the overall experience was way better than any particular strategy.
Okay, okay, that's great. And in fact, I would really love to ask you one of my favorite questions of this entire series, which is that if Rodha were a friend to you, what kind of friend would it be?
I think so. That supporting friend, I would classify as that the friend that always supports me and is at my back to support me and uh, to motivate me to do better and better all day. So I would say that type of friend is what I will be for me.
That's great. Yeah, like having that supportive and motivating friend, it's really important for like during any preparation for any competitive exam. I'm
Yeah,
glad that
yeah.
Rhoda could be that friend to you during your preparation journey. So, like strategy का, I think it's like कि strategy सबके पास होती है, right? But it's more about its application and that too consistently. Of course, one of the three words that you mentioned about your preparation journey, which was consistency, right? And those are the people who actually convert good colleges, right? So, moving on, Ritish, we have a fun, rapid section up ahead, ठीक है, which we call as this or that, ठीक है, wherein
Okay, okay.
I give you two choices, no thinking, just quick fire, right? You just have to answer quickly without overthinking. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So first one we have is कि मॉक दे के एनालिसिस करना या फिर एनालिसिस के बिना नेक्स्ट मॉक दे देना.
Mock take analyst.
ओके. लिसनिंग टू म्यूजिक while solving QA या फिर complete silence.
For me, listening to music was something.
Sorry, listening to music.
Yeah, yeah. Listening to music.
That's great. That was great concentration, I would say. Uh, फ्रेंड्स के साथ प्रिपरेशन डिस्कशन या फिर दैट सोलो ग्राइंड.
Friends के साथ.
ओके. वन फुल ऑफ डे एवरी वीक या फिर डेली 2-3 hour ब्रेक्स.
Daily 2-3 hours.
ओके. ओके. We have one last question for this round, which is your dream convert XLRI या फिर second attempt for Blackie.
Dream convert Excel.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I think that was some fun answers from you, and very you were very clear in what you want to decide. But let's now move to a zone जहाँ पर you know when we see the कैट प्रिपरेशन इंडस्ट्री और जो लोग टेस्ट टेकर्स होते हैं, जो लोग प्रिपेयर कर रहे होते हैं ना, सबके दिमाग में बहुत सारे मिथ्स होते हैं, राइट? तो लेट्स ट्राई टू बस्ट सम ऑफ दोज मिथ्स, है ना, इन आवर नेक्स्ट सेगमेंट व्हिच वी कॉल एज मिथ बस्टर्स, right? So you just have to tell from your experience, right, whether the statements that I'm telling are actually myths, right, or not. ठीक है. So the first myth that we have is कि giving cat in your final year of graduation is very difficult.
Myth.
Like anything to justify
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same.
I think so that giving in the final year is the best time for you. After that, once your job started, if you are going for a job and that perspective, then it will become really difficult for you while handling both things, as there is somebody else expectations from you to do better in the job. And if you are taking a drop, then I guess there is a constant pressure that you have to make it and this year. There is no choice and there is no second way out for you. So if you are able to make it in the final year, there is no better thing for you.
Okay, the next myth that we see often after the cat results ki if your cat results disappoint you, right? So people really lose hope on that also.
Fact. Yeah, people really demotivated for going through the same thing, and they ended up like nothing can happen. But uh, uh, that's the real thing that happens with a lot of people.
But is it good or bad ki matlab you should l- leave your hope, or you should have hope that you can do well in that?
I think you should have hope in at least have hope in the that you can do it again and do well in that. That's the way forward to it.
Okay, the next one that we have is that only top 1% mock scorers convert to top B schools.
Myth. I think so that in couple of mocks I scored in top 1%, but it's not all the mocks, and I'm not even close to like I was scoring in 70% of mocks and I was in top 1%. But you can do it. The cat and Zad are really unpredictable, and what goes on in that day, it really depends upon a lot on your strategy and preparations. So, like, you can do it if you are not in the top 1%.
Okay, the next one that we have is कि प्रेपरेशन के टाइम पे एक भी बार ब्रेक लिया तो पूरा फ्लो चले जाता है.
Fact, I have seen a lot with this happening with a lot of people. Like if they've taken a break and they just go off for 1 to 2 months at all, and they ended up like now the cat is too near for me, and they were like, and nothing can happen in that lack of time as they have already chilled a lot. But that's not always true for me. I think so that if you are clear that I have to do it, then you can do it. It's okay to take a break of even a week, 2 weeks. So it's really okay, and a lot of people do.
Okay, okay, yeah, that's great. I think we have the last one for today. That is that if your DM section is weak, XLRI is kind of out of reach.
No, I'm here to burst this myth that my team section was weak, but I still ended up doing it.
That's really great. Thank you so much for being very honest with these myths or these statements, whether they are myths or whether they are very true. And you have really given a very different perspective to a few things, right? So now we are only left with the last segment of our show, which we call as wisdom drop. So
Okay.
this is the part जहाँ your words can change the direction of any or some aspirant out there. You know, imagine there's some aspirant who's stuck in his or her journey for cat or zet. है ना? He or she is very overwhelmed, very confused, right? So what would you want to say to that aspirant? Like, not just the strategy part, but some heart to heart advice.
Uh, so I would love to say that first of all, cat and that is not everything. It's okay if you didn't make it. There are a lot of options outside in the market, and you can really do good in life if you didn't make it. But if you are really serious and you want to make it, and I think so, just trust the process and finally just give your 100%. And I think so, you will make it really easily. As I have seen people as I've joined the XLRI, the lots of people are there who scored just 20% in their first attempt, 50% in their first attempt. But in second and the third attempt, they ended up at being XLRI. So this grind, once you made it, will will matter a lot to you. But once you made it, it will be there is no better feeling than that.
Yeah, correct. In fact, to what you said, ki trust the process. That mindset is really something that the aspirants need to hold on to. Right? It's pure
Yeah.
gold. That you need to trust on the process. If that didn't work well, of course, you have exams like Z, etc. Right? Where you can actually do well. So with that, Ritish, I think we wrap up this amazing episode of the Conversion Diaries. है ना? your journey was a perfect example कि when you have a very clear intent, right? तो resources, guidance और willpower, I think सब कुछ एक ही जगह पे मिल जाते हैं, right? So all the very very best for your XLRA adventure. I'm really sure that you'll do wonders there. And thanks a lot for joining us today for this episode.
Thank you very much for having me.
And to all our listeners out there, if you liked this episode and you have learned something out of it, don't forget to share it with someone who might also get some help, some motivation out of this episode, right? And if you also want to write your preparation journey, let's say with Rodha, I'm really sure that you know where to find us. So until next time, guys, keep hustling. Goodbye and all the best.